My last proper job was working at the Windy City call center, and that was the job that I actually ran into like ethical concerns at. All right, guys. Well, for those of you who do not know, I am in the middle of a subathon. I say that because this is going up on YouTube, so, I mean, kind of have to show you guys. This is all of the stuff that I have to suffer through on the subathon. Right now, we are currently doing the NGL video. Not gonna lie, is an app that lets people send anonymous messages, questions, and stuff like that. So a bunch of anonymous messages have been dropped on me, and we're going to go ahead and answer them. This is the same thing as a usual Q&A video, but since people can hide their actual identities, maybe we'll get some different questions than normal. Or maybe it's just going to devolve into all kinds of dumbfuckery. Who knows? But let's go ahead and get right into it if that is the case. Either way. So, the very first message we have on NGL is, what do you think about snake girls? And why are they the best girls every time? I wouldn't say that Lamias are best girls every time. That's what I think. I think snake girls are great, and I think snake girls are valid. But Lamia's not my usual cup of tea. Not typically. There are certain things they can do, but I'm more of a tentacle person. That's besides the point. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Monster Hunter Rise game night when? Good question. I do not know. I just recently restarted a character on Rise, so maybe soon? We'll have to see. Maybe sometime during the subathon. Maybe. Cirrus is more to tiny jellyfish. I'm not into tiny jellyfish. What is your biggest regret? Hard to say. There are some people, when I was a lot more conservative, that I hurt a lot because I had a very I'm the center of the universe type of mentality about myself. And I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I probably caused a lot more damage in that stage of my life than is warranted for a single person who tries not to actually hurt people now. As a pretty fucking shitty person back then. So, I guess my biggest regret is just being that person. Just being that person. Silly Shinobi, you literally just did. You literally just did. Do not say you did not ship if you literally just did that. Anyway, next one. Who has better feet, Blizzy or Dumpy? I guess technically Dumpy, because Dumpy's a ditto. Dumpy can be whatever he wants to be. They want to be. She wants to be. I don't know what Dumpy's gender is. Does Dumpy even have a gender? Probably not. Yeah, probably Dumpy. Dumpy can just have whatever feet you're into. So, I think just by definition, Dumpy is the gender. Said, bro, why did you program in the jiggle? I didn't program in the jiggle at all. That was done by Remixit. Next one. What drives you to continue this job? I want to grow my channel and stream, but nothing I do seems to help. So there's a couple things that drive me. The first is very, very basic. If I do not perform well, I do not eat. If I do not perform well, I do not get to pay my bills. That is a primary baseline. Everything I do needs to be at some point in service of taking care of myself and my house. I know that's not the answer you're looking for, but that is the primary thing. If I decide that I don't want to wake up in the morning and get on stream and work, I don't actually have much of a choice. It's a thing that I have to do because it is my job. However, past that, Silly Shinobi, you're fine. You're fine. I was mostly poking at you. I was mostly poking at you. But as for what drives me to continue doing specifically this job as a streamer, that's a combination of things. One, it's the best job I've ever had. There's a lot of hiccups with it that are really, really difficult to manage, specifically when dealing with, like, taxes and stuff like that. But past that, this job specifically is one that allows me to affect people's lives in a way that nothing I've ever done before has. And I'm not saying that to try to inflate my own self-importance. I don't think I'm that important. But there are very few jobs where you can wake up in the morning and receive an email from somebody where they tell you, like, just how much you've impacted their lives, just how much you've changed their way of thinking, just how important what you do is to them. That they wake up in the morning and you're the thing that they wake up to, basically. That's not something that I've ever had at any other job that I've ever had in my life. So, that would be one of the things that drives it. When I don't want to get up in the morning and I need motivation past just, hey, you won't eat if you don't work. Knowing that there are people that are touched by what I do, that helps. That helps a lot. The next one we have is, why did you and Raz break up? Even if you don't answer this one, I'm sorry it happened. I wish you well. Long story short, we're different people and have different goals in life. We realized that over the last 6 years, we have not furthered our relationship, and we kind of just reached a point where we work better as friends than we do as people together in a relationship. That's the beginning and ending of it. Whoop whoop. Red Joker, get some help. You know this is a mistake, right? You know, I don't know if I would say that the NGL thing is a mistake, necessarily. I've been doing it on Twitter. What's the difference by doing it here? Next one says, hey, dude, I just want to say I appreciate you a lot and how trans-supportive you are. I'm a trans teenager, and it makes the world seem less dark to know that people like you care. Hope your day has treating you well. Well, I would say that the day is treating me decently well, except for all the pain from all the exercise. Also, hello, Bonbon. How's it going? You know, the exercise pain hurts. But aside from that, yeah, I think I've been doing better than I have in other days. So that's good. Also, I literally did just say that, like, messages like these are some of the things that keep me going, so thank you for that. Next one we have here is, what is the final shape? What is the what? What is the what? The what? What is the final the what? The final shape of what? Destiny 2 reference? Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. I understand. Also, this small cat child needs to go. I cannot sacrifice every wire in my computer. And my GF's place got accepted into New College as well. Nice! Yeah, Jessica. That's right. It goes in the square hole. All right. Next one we have here is Touch Fluffy Tail Pog. I mean, yeah, Touch Fluffy Tail's a great song, so sure. Sure. Next one, which one is hotter? Knuckles with boobs or Shadow with boobs? Shadow. I'm sorry, like, I love Knuckles, but between the two of them, I'll take Femme Shadow. I'll take Femme Shadow over Femme Knuckles any day. Easily. Hands down. Hear me out! A Sonic Into the Spider-Verse-like movie that brings back all the past English voice actors for Sonic, and they fight every version of Robotnik. You know, that would be pretty cool, because then we actually could get Mecha Robotnik from the Archie comics, who would be probably the most evil version of Robotnik that has ever existed for all of them to fight against. So Ken Penders will sue you over Femme Knuckles. Larasu could get it. Instead of actually play that, I'd watch it. It's a movie. I would watch it. Sonic Prime, but good, basically. Can my cat Gizmo be friends with Blizzy? I know he is aggressive and locked me out of my room last night, but he could use the positive role model. I don't think Blizzy's a positive role model. I think Blizzy's a derp, I think Blizzy's a derp. I don't think Blizzy's gonna give Gizmo any positive help at all. He's just gonna tilt his head and loll his tongue out and hope you pet him. That's about the most he can do. This one says, just know that you're valid and deserve happiness. Never forget. Well, I'll try not to forget that, but, you know, the inner demons, whenever I'm trying to go to sleep, tell me otherwise. So, yeah. Also, Bonbon says, doing okay, got a new dress delivered. Nice. Next question says, how do I come out to my friends as Demi and potentially a furry too? All right, so the first thing is maybe you should have a response to the usual answer that everybody gives everybody who says they're Demi, including me, every time we try to explain that we're Demi. The very first response, without fail, is, hey, you're just normal. When you explain that demisexuality is you need an attraction to a personality before you ever need, like, before you ever consider aesthetics of a person at all, when you try to explain that, most people will just go, that just makes you a normal person. Point out that there are people that will immediately sleep with somebody based on their looks, and that you simply can't do that. I know that I can't. I've tried. I was at a swingers party. I learned the hard way. But, I don't know, just like understanding your sexuality enough to answer some fairly basic questions and criticisms about it will help a lot. But, like, past that, as far as coming out as a furry, just, like, drop it as a joke in conversation. Like, hey, you're a furry. Like, being a furry is only cringe on the internet. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. Like, on the internet, there's this culture that furries are cringe. But if you are not going outside trying to be in your fursuit 24/7, most people just simply don't care. So, yes, I'm normal. Thank you for accepting me as a valid member of the LGBT. I don't know. I don't think that there's as much need for coming out as furry as there is coming out as Demi, though, personally. Because, like, I don't know, it just, in terms of weightiness, that's just me. So, no, we're definitely cringe IRL. Well, I'm talking about, like, the whole fucking furries or cringe culture exists almost solely on the internet. Like, it exists almost solely on the internet. You go out in real life and you just, like, casually mention, like, hey, by the way, I'm a furry. The most you'll get, and what I've seen my friends get, is people who are misconstruing furry with its own sexuality. Like, the idea that you just want to fuck people in fursuits, which is, like, it's not what being a furry is. Like, I'm not a furry, and yet I know that, because I know enough furries. There are furries that do the, like, hey, let's all fucking fursuits thing, but there's also plenty of furries that just have a fursona, and that's about as far as it goes. But, I don't know, next one. How nervous were you starting your last proper job? Not counting streaming. My last proper job was working at the Windy City call center, and that was the job that I actually ran into, like, ethical concerns at. I'd say I was pretty nervous starting that job because I had never worked a call center job before. And that was my first time working that kind of job. And I hated it. I hated every second of doing that particular job. There were some aspects of it that I enjoyed, like being able to just kind of play World of Warcraft while I was waiting for calls to come in. But, you know, it's not a very fun job. It's kind of a shitty job. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna try to say that call center job is glamorous. But if you like MMOs, that's a thing that you can do. What is the worst ban you ever had to do? How poorly were they acting? I mean, most of that just kind of goes into a giant soup bowl for me. I don't know what I would call the worst ban I've ever had to do. I could say the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had is a chatter that literally tried to muse over whether or not I would date them in chat. That was cringy as fuck. And then they went into my DMs afterwards and tried to say, hey, I realized that the problem was that you don't know me very well, so maybe you could get to know me. And like, no. The answer to will I date you as a default to anybody in my audience is a resounding no. I do need that parasocial barrier to be very well shattered first. And that's going to take a lot of time. But it does not mean, by any circumstances, that I want to take that time with you. Whoever you happen to be. There's a specific you in this situation, and there's a more blanket you past that. So no. I could say that was the most uncomfortable interaction I've had. But it's not the worst ban. I did not ban this person. Maybe I should have. Is it a lot of hearts broken in chat? Hardly. The list of people who potentially have a crush on me is like somewhere between 0 and -5. I think everybody will be fine. The next one, though. It just says pee-pee. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. It just says pee-pee. Like, it just says pee-pee. So I guess that's a thing? It says pee-pee. Okay. So why am I laughing at this? I don't know. Why am I looking at it and questioning all of my life choices? Why am I spending so much time on this one in particular? I don't know. But, This one says, what is the most cursed thing Stauff has made? You know, I can tell you that the most cursed thing Stauff has made, very, very simply, was that image that involved several rods and anal beads being shoved into nipples and other orifices, and then a lot of hoops and rings attached to what looked like a foreskin, and then I don't remember what else was in that image. And I'm not really comfortable looking up that image right now in an effort to find out what else was in that image. But there was a lot of weird things in that image. And I just had to accept them. I think I might have even been pregnant in that image. I don't know. Cirrus repressed it. Yeah, this is the difference between Cirrus needs to repress the memory for sanity and Cirrus needs to recall the memory for content. Hold on. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to Stauff's Twitter, and I'm going to describe the image as best I can. So I'm just going to force myself to forget some things. Yeah, you know, it's probably a good thing to do, but hold on. Let's see here. Okay, so it was anal beads stuck in nipples with butt plugs at the end of the anal beads. A giant set of anal beads shoved into a penis with a gold sonic ring at the end for pulling it. Hands and legs tied behind in bondage, and it looked like there were a bunch of tubes pulled into the nipples and also the urethra. And I do not know what they were doing. But the worst part of all of this is that there is a neck coin attached to the tail in this image. Also, the testicles in this image could give some basketballs a measure of shame in terms of size. So yeah, that's there we go. That's my best way to describe that image. That's my best way to describe that image. Oh, I don't know if that makes it worse, Stauff, but apparently I have just been sent an image of Shopkeep-chan from Ocarina of Time. And I am shoved into the urethra of Shopkeep-chan. I don't know the urethra in a dick specifically. I don't know if that one's actually worse. But it is certainly one of the images that exists on the internet of all time. God, I feel bad for Raj having to edit this shit. I legitimately feel bad for the man right now. Antipretzel says, I have morbid curiosity. The image exists on the internet, and you can find it if you try. But I will not provide it to you. Next one, it just says whoop whoop again. It just says whoop whoop again. The next one says, why Booba Cat? I have a whole lore video going into why Booba Cat. Long answer, lore video, short answer, fan art. Next one. I see your stream. Well, I hope you do, because otherwise you might be blind. Cirrus is proof of Rule 34. There's a few other rules that get mixed up in there, I'm sure. This one says, what's a good way to pick an idea for a first YouTube video? Also, I'm sorry you're sick. I hope you get over your ligma. Well, I will never get over my ligma because of Steve Jobs. But a good way to pick an idea for your first YouTube video, what are you passionate about? What can you talk about for an hour without stopping? Talk about that. There you go. And the last one says, I miss Weeby. I don't know who Weeby is. Who's Weeby? I don't know who Weeby is. If you miss them, I'm sorry. But I have no idea who that is. And that's the end of the, all of the NGL things. We have gone through all of them, and now I'm closing a lot of tabs. Weeby was a troll. Oh, okay. I don't know who Weeby was. Said how I spent $2 and still want my money back on that damn book. Jesus Christ. But as always, thank you all for your all of those things. And insert end of video tagline here.